Welcome to The Divine Mess, a sanctuary where the dance of the empowered masculine and the divine feminine unfolds in all its glory. Join us as we delve into the heart of these cosmic energies, exploring their attributes and the profound impact they have on our lives. From the raw power of the masculine to the nurturing embrace of the feminine, we uncover the balance that leads to a life of abundance and joy. Our hosts, Curdy Deva Perriman and Tina Ryan, are your guides on this spiritual journey who blend science with soul to offer practical wisdom for harnessing your divine energy. We celebrate the beauty and imperfection, embracing the chaos of life's journey as a catalyst for growth. The Divine Mess isn't just a podcast, it's a movement towards wholeness and self-expression. So come laugh with us, cry with us, and grow with us. Every episode is an invitation to explore the depths of your being and to live out loud, authentically and unapologetically. Subscribe and join our community of seekers as we support each other in this extraordinary, messy adventure we call life. Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to the latest episode of The Divine Mess. Thank you so much for joining us today. Today's a reflection episode of an absolutely amazing human that we had the pleasure of interviewing on our virtual couch. But before we jump into that excitement, I suppose if it's the first time that you're listening to us, it might be a good opportunity to introduce ourselves. My name's Tina Marie and I work with women who are moving through separation and divorce, and they're trying to understand what their second season is going to look like. And as always, I am joined by my very handsome Mauritian, French Creole speaking, New Zealand living co-host, who's the cosmic alchemist at the Golden Temple. And by the way, his name's Curdy David Perryman. I thought I might just chuck that one in on the end instead of saying, hey, you. So I'll hand it over to my friend to just do a bit of a warm introduction to himself.
I don't think I need to, because you summarize it like beautifully, like the way you said it.
Super
It
quick, easy.
just flowing. So if people are wondering like what's the cosmic alchemist, is just about transmuting your fears into love. It's like my co-host, she's called herself a self-love coach. One of the labels. She doesn't like to have it.
True.
One of the labels, but like spicing up. That's how I see it. Like with immersion spice, the best season of the women that she's working with. And if you're like she said, you're new to the Divine Mess and it's your first episode, I would suggest go back to the previous one, because we had an amazing guest who was like always, like we have been learning with every single guest like something. And of course we had that
Not something.
beautiful.
Let's just get it straight. It's about surrendering to the process,
There you
right?
go. That's our word. We are
That is
going
our
with that.
word. I think that is the current underlier for the whole podcast, is understanding that we're not in the driver's seat as much as we would like to think that we are. And we need to ask for assistance. And there is no shame in being vulnerable and putting your hand up. And whether you're asking your neighbour, your best friend, your husband or your wife, or a work colleague, or the divine, however you want to term it, whatever religious practice or faith that you have, whether it be Ganesha or whether it be Buddha or whether it be God or Allah, whoever your person is, or as our guest called her person Daddy. She calls God Daddy, which we found was, it's an interesting way of putting it. But that's how she has her conversations with the divine, is she just, Daddy, I'm in need of some help. Can you help me with this one? Or this person is not being particularly kind and loving towards me. please give me strength and patience and wisdom to help deal with their pettiness and their own insecurities so that I can remain true to myself and remain true to the path. So how did you find Jacqueline,
Well,
Dava?
if the audience are wondering like which case are we talking about, because since we are moving into a series of recording for us, so
True.
it's about Jacqueline Goodwin. She's an ordained pastor and prophetess, focused on deliverance and healing. She also served as a youth director and mentor and Sunday school teacher, which I found funny because when we did the recording, it wasn't on a Sunday. So it truly felt like we were going to Sunday
We were getting
school.
schooled big
we,
time.
we were getting schooled, but it was amazing, like how it flew by, how the energy, the unwavering faith. It's through Jacqueline that I truly, for the first time, that I met someone that virtually, yes,
Mm,
that truly embody that unwavering faith that
yeah.
I heard about, like for me, like Gabrielle Bernstein talk about it, have unwavering faith in the universe. Yet when you meet someone who has that unwavering faith, because if you see the series of challenges she had, like even with the
Somebody else
burning,
would go, I'm sorry, I quit, I'm out. Like, find me the exit, I'm done.
because whenever the deeper we got in the conversation, she kept coming on with a new challenge. And I was like, okay, where did that stop? Like, where did that stop? Where you're not going to tell something so deep because all the
Yeah.
challenges she went through, for example, in terms of her health, even like losing her house and still looking up to daddy, like she called it, like God's spirit, and say, you got my back. Like you're my source and everything else is my resources, and that's it, and that's how she viewed life. And I was like, that's just
Still gives
amazing.
me the chills, right? Every time I hear the way in which she phrased it, that, you're my source and everything that you put in front of me provides my resources. Like just going, oh, that's t-shirt worthy, right? That's something that you would, the universe is my source and everything else is my resource.
Mm.
Or you could put whatever flavor picture, whatever you want to put on it to make it resonate for you, but still, that from losing, losing financially from ending a marriage to losing her home to having I think one of the most severe health trials that anybody can go through, and a severe car accident. You look at it and you go, and honestly, once we start putting these videos up for people to see Jacqueline in the flesh, she just vibrates sunshine and happiness and joy and ease and grace and all the attributes that you would expect from someone that's not experienced anything. Looks like she's just slid over the top of the ice and like everything is just perfect and beautiful. But I think it's those that have undergone the harshness, I think, that life can dole out to you, are the ones that tend to appreciate life in its minutest form, the joy of it being a sunny day, or, of hearing a bird song first thing in the morning, or a great cup of coffee, or just the simple pleasures that I think people spurt off about, but don't actually truly enjoy it. They're racing through their life. She's one that fully embraces every single moment and then is holding the hands of others whilst they go through some of the toughest moments in their life. you know, we get to meet all these amazing people, and you would like to have them all in a room, like, so you could, you know, have these great interpersonal conversations, and so many incredible people doing incredible things, serving the world. It would just be the best party.
It would be like the best, like sharing, because when you said you talk about that like in one of the episodes, like you were talking to one of the guests and said, let's imagine like you have all those people like together.
Mm.
It's like for me, I wouldn't know where to start. It's like who would go first?
It's like
Because
the
it's
dessert buffet, you know, at the hotel. It's like, well, which one do I start with? You know, like I'm not really
yeah,
sure where to
and which
start.
topic, because it's we had such a like range of topic that we can discuss,
Mm,
but like Jacqueline always bring it back to God, like how her faith, it's like that resonating, that keep resonating for me, that God is my source, everything else is like my resources. So she sees everything as a spiritual assignment when she
yeah.
talk about it. And it's her mom that like brought her up that way, like having faith.
Mm.
And she went like through overdose as well. If you keep forgetting, like there's so
And a
many
car
things.
being repossessed, and just,
Yeah,
you know, all these things keep coming back, and it's like,
because
wow.
in the first conversation that we had,
Mm,
it was a whole another story, and I was like, okay, so we just heard like new ones, and it keep coming like anyone in her place. Like I think in the episode I said that to her as well, like would have gone the other way, but
mm,
she chose faith as well. Like she chose faith. She chose to see that as a spiritual assignment and a
yeah.
redirection to
Mm-hmm,
God, like to trust the process, to
mm-hmm.
surrender to the process.
Correct. Because
And
what did she say? That um the acronym that she had?
yes, so she had two t-shirt worthy again. So the
Mm-hmm.
first one was for HIV, it's like healing in the vessel. And the second
Yeah.
one was about AIDS, which is like appearing impossible, dying to
Yes.
surrender. And
Yeah.
I found that amazing, like how she could come up with those words. And even
Mm.
her book, like From Bitter to Better, that's amazing, like how it was downloaded through her. And
Yeah.
sometimes we go through those tough moments and we question, like, why is this happening to me? And instead, it's like, what is it teaching me? What's that situation teaching me? Or
Mm-hmm.
why is this happening for me? Like what I'm learning from
What am
this.
I supposed to take away about myself? Or why did I create this situation? Because nothing happens by chance. Everything is created by our thoughts and our energy. So we create these great circumstances, we create these crappy circumstances because it's something that we haven't taken the lesson away yet. So, you know, it continues to be ordinary, or worse than ordinary, because we're not getting the point. You know, sometimes it's like, just get to the point. Just tell me what it is that I'm supposed to take away from it. And that's where, you know, her conversations and her ability to trust, like, I don't think out of anybody that we've met, anybody had that level of, I'm just going with the flow and I ask for help, and I don't concern myself as to how that help is going to show up. I don't concern myself with who's going to deliver it. I don't concern when it shows up. It's just I know it will. You know, it's that believe it before you see it type scenario. It's the same when any of us get in an Uber or we we get on a bus or a plane or a train or anything else, we trust that where we've asked to go is where we're going to get to eventually. And that's her level of faith, is that she just trusts. She just gets on the bus and knows that she'll be taken exactly where she needs to go at any given point in time. And it's like, and I just love it when you get schooled hard, gently, but hard.
Yeah. For me, it reminded me of one story of my guru. And he was so for him, his statement is like everything is happening according to Lord Shiva's will and order. So everything is perfect in this world. That's how he put it. So anything, any situation that you have, you keep saying like everything is perfect. So everything is happening. So for him, at one point in his life, he got like, I think he got hit by, attacked by one bull, and he was severely injured and he was really old. And if I'm not mistaken, and he said all his disciple was like, "Oh, Guru, so should we kill this animal because he attacked you?" And he was like, "No, that's Lord Shiva's will. So everything is perfect." And he was smiling in the pain. And that's how how so for me, only the people like gurus, spiritual gurus that I grew up knowing, these are the only person I ever met or read about that really embody that unwavering faith until I met Jacqueline. And I was so amazed that people, there are people in the world that are still embodying that. And that's something for me that was a major eye opener, that I know like I'm going in my 3D mind saying I'm not doing enough in terms of the prayer or something or having faith, but it's like comparing. And she said like, we are not here to compare. So when that conversation happened, I say, okay, I'm still doing something in terms of my prayer. So how can I deepen my practice? And that's the question I that came through me through the conversation with Jacqueline, is like, how can I deepen my spiritual practice instead of comparing the level of faith she had, instead of saying, oh, my faith is not that level. Yet with everything that happened throughout my life, I still have the faith in my deities, you can call, or God, and the universe.
But I think it's also too that we don't want to compare ourselves to anybody else but ourselves, and our ability to do something better or different. We have to be comparing ourselves to yesterday. And I think Jacqueline is what Gabby Bernstein would call driftwood. Like when you're talking about comparison, it's showing us who we can be. We have the ability to be as faithful and trusting as what Jacqueline is, because otherwise we wouldn't have met her. We wouldn't have been shown what was possible if we weren't meant to, if we weren't meant to see who we can be. And that's kind of what I took from it, is that, there are going to be circumstances and there's going to be people in your life who don't get where you're at. They don't understand you. They don't, and Jacqueline said the same yesterday. She said they don't understand her faith. They don't understand who she is now in comparison to who she used to be. But she said, I just remain true to myself. Like I just remain true to my faith and true to knowing that whatever happens in my life is happening for a divine purpose. And I was like, okay, I can just, like atomic habit it, I can just take 1% of that. If I just apply 1% of that faith, if I just do that incrementally every day, then I know I'm on the right path. I just add that little sprinkle of faith in going, I can get on the bus today and I know I'm going to get where I need to go. And I'm starting to work with these new people, so I know there's something in it for me. So I'm going to trust where it's taking me and go, imagine if, imagine what the possibilities are going to be, because I know I'm being directed in the right way. So, don't compare yourself. You're your own guru in your own right. And people look to you like that. Your clients look to you like that.
Yeah.
And going, if only I had faith like Dava, if only I had, the understanding and the knowledge and the expertise that Dava has, and, how can he see all the challenges in my life and know me but not know me? So there are other people that are looking to you, like we look to Jacqueline and go, oh yeah, we'd like to be like that. But there are people that look to you and go, oh, if only I could be like Dava. So it's swings and roundabouts, I think.
Yeah, I think like I said, it's like that 3D mind like automatically goes into that. Because for me it was like the first time ever, like outside of my spiritual group, that I met with someone that, like had that level of unwavering faith. And it was just a beautiful reminder, like you said, like who you can be, who I can be, and how I can deepen my practice. For me, that's like, for me, that was my biggest takeaway, one of the biggest. The second one was like, like God is my source. And I just love that sentence, that keep repeating since we had that chat. Like I keep hearing that, like God is my source, like my job. I'm pretty sure she said like my job is my
My
resource.
resource.
Yeah. So for me, it's like you can put that in anything. Like any person that you meet, you can just say that this is my resource. For example, to learn about love, to remind yourself about self-love, like
Yeah.
to focus on your energy, to create a healthy boundary, for example. Because the way she spoke about creating boundaries with love, especially for mother and daughter, that was just brilliant. It's
Yeah.
like, I love you, but like this is toxic for me at this point in time until you
Yeah.
work on you. It's
Yeah.
like so gentle, yet it's like that slap in the face, like
I
without.
know, because I've had those conversations and
Mm,
they're very hard conversations to have, but they're essential, because we're not responsible for anybody else's healing but our own. And as much as we would love to have the people that we love and the people that we came from to be part of the journey, maybe they're not meant to be part of this section, or GPS route that, God has chosen for us. Maybe they're just not meant to be part of it, and you have to be okay with that. And I think that's the biggest thing, is that the human wants to hang on. And I think Jacqueline was, chatting about that. As humans, we really want to hang on to situations and things that actually no longer serve us, because there's comfort and there is a certain level of acceptance. But we need to find new people like Jacqueline who push us into being better versions of ourselves, and sticking around with the same people that, have a really crappy mindset when it comes to love or relationships or family or money, or that's what you're going to have. Like, you put yourself in a pool with those people and that's what you're going to end up with. And so that's what, where she said, at the moment, this relationship doesn't work for me, and I have to love you from a distance until you decide what you want and think is best for your life. And if that means that our paths come together again, that's great. And if they don't, I'll still love you, but I just won't be a party to it. And it's tricky and it's challenging, especially sometimes when you've got to do it with your own kids and you've got to let them lead their own lives and make a mess of it. Because if we don't allow them to make a mess of it, how else are they going to learn? So, and we're still making a mess of our lives at, even where we're at, there are still things that are messy and there are still old patterns that trip us up. So I just think it's a lovely point in time where we go, maybe just have a little bit of a reassess and go, right, is that the old version speaking or is it the new version speaking? And you go, yeah, maybe it was the old one.
With one of my clients, I just call her, like, I just say, oh, your twin is coming back, like your twin sister is coming back. Like, it's not evil twin, but it's like, oh, so who is speaking? Your twin is speaking today. Okay, good. So we had a name, like we had a name about it. And sometimes, like you said, like this keep coming back, especially when you're facing challenges. And that's what amazed me with Jacqueline. She went straight, like, get on your knees and just ask daddy. We mean God, by the way. If you're listening, if you just like listen to that part, we're not saying calling your daddy, but it's God.
Well, there's, from her perspective, he is the ultimate father. I think she just puts a cheeky side note on it because it frames it in a way that feels comfortable for her. Like if you want to say Almighty, or, if you want to call him Jack or John or Jimmy or something else, then go for it. Whatever resonates with you, like if you want to name it after, your most favorite pop star who was no longer on the planet, do it. Ask for help. Whatever resonates for you. But I think the one thing that I loved how she put it was being a bird. Birds just have the absolute faith in the fact that when they stretch their wings out, the currents are going to be there. They're going to carry them where they need to go. And it'll do it with ease and grace. There's never any doubt. They just open up their wings and move them, and it's there. Like, everything that they need. It doesn't matter if they pack up house and they move to another state or another country, everything that they need will be there, and we have such a culture of lack and scarcity, and there's never enough. What happens if we applied a bird mindset to how we live and going, I'm just going to stretch my wings out and I'm going to take a leap and trust? But I think it also comes with a caveat that if you feel like the winds aren't there to catch you, put your hand up and ask for some help, right? Just ask, because don't ask, don't get.
And the way she asks for help, like, when she speaks to God, like, it's just amazing, like very simple. It's like she is having a conversation with someone. Just going on a tangent, but you said like Jack, and I was thinking of Hungry Jack when you were saying that. And I was like, for people who don't know, it's a burger joint, like in Oz, not in New Zealand, but if you're feeling hungry as well, you can say, Hungry Jack, please come to me,
Well,
Yeah, but
it's just kind of whatever resonates, even if it's a friend that's passed over, or a grandparent, or if that's the person that you want to reach out to and have conversations with, then do it. If that's the person that you want to put your faith in because they've had a life experience and they're now seeing things from the other side and it all looks pretty clear. I'm sure the past looks absolutely amazingly simple. from the other side. It's just we complicate it with stuff that's not relevant. You know, we get so caught up in our own heads. Ask them. We affectionately call my grandmother that has passed over our marketing manager. So her name was Margaret Mary. So I have quiet conversations with Margaret Mary. Sometimes it's in the shower, or sometimes it's when I'm driving my car, or another thing that someone had mentioned to me before. And it's just a mantra, like in David's religion, mantras are really important, but it's whatever your name is, and only good things come to me. You know, but with a caveat on that, that sometimes the good things look like bad things. To your human mind, they will look like bad things, but it's possibly preventing you from doing something really stupid or really daft. That's the parent in me talking, but it will prevent you from doing something really stupid. But if that is your mantra, you'd be surprised at the things that turn up for you. And when the universe is putting stuff in front of your face and you ignore it, when it comes around the third or the fourth time, reach out and grab it, because it's meant for you. You know, stop ignoring that that's what it's for. Reach out and grab it and see where it takes you, you know, irrespective of what anybody else thinks. Just reach out, take a hold and go, okay, I'm along for the ride, with zero expectations of where it's going to take you. You know, you have to have a little bit of that masculine energy and strategic action, but at the same time, we need to be in a space of receivership and being comfortable. I think the givers of the world are very comfortable in giving. However, being in a space of needing and being in receivership and asking for that help can feel really icky and uncomfortable. But even if it's the little bit, even if it's someone that offers you a compliment, take it. You know, because the universe is testing to see if you're ready for something bigger. Take the little things. If someone says, oh, I like your jacket, or I like your handbag, or I, you know, love your glasses, or whatever it happens to be, or you look really happy today. Yes, I am. And that's all you've got to do, because the next big thing is coming. I've learnt that. That's been one of the key things. But I think Jacqueline embodies that, in that, you know, the good, accept the good, you know, but also at the same time, look at the things that aren't playing out the way you would like them to. And are they not playing out the way you want them to because you wanted them to act in a certain way, or be in a certain way, or be delivered in a certain way? Maybe you need to have another look at it, or get someone else's perspective on it. But people who are going to tell you the truth, and not people that are going to tell you what you want to hear. And I think there's a radical difference between friendships where people just go, yeah, he's a pain in the butt, or she's a pain in the butt, or that job you should definitely leave, or get someone that goes, what part did you play in it? Get someone that's going to ask you an actual question and going, how did you create this mess? I think that's kind of important.
Like, they are mirrors, you know, like, to the mirror you don't want to look at. And that's the kind of friend you want to have, or people that you want to surround yourself with. Because, like, even when Jacqueline is going through those, there's a lot of self-reflection she did. Because when she says, like, she did her fasting, so for me, it's like, yeah, so you would go, like, really deep within yourself and really say, how can I attract this person? You know, like, when she, for example, she was talking about her ex-husband, like, and she went into that state of forgiveness after, like, writing her book. But there's a lot of self-reflection and saying that, yes, this is how I contributed to that mess as well. This is my part, and accepting that. And you were talking about the masculine energy as well. So it's like taking that spiritually aligned action, like when you
Yes.
allow the energy to come through and the nudge, for example, like call that person, and let's say you're browsing through the job market and you like, yep, that sounds like me, and you just get that nudge instead of like questioning, oh, is it right for me? Is it the right one for me? Or there may be like better candidates to that. Like I got one client at the moment, like she's going through that process of applying, and she goes through all a series of questions that when I just say stop in another way, like, yeah, it's R-rated or something. That's how you call it, right? But it's like you have to stop them in the train. Like for her, I'm like, yeah, you're jumping on the wrong train, like, and that's where our mind want to control. Whereas
Mm,
in Jacqueline's perspective and ours as well, I feel it's like trusting the driver is the universe or God or however you want to name it, and
yeah.
trusting that it's because I think Gabby as well said that you're always being guided. Abraham Hicks as well, I heard saying that, and I call Grandpa Wayne, so Wayne Dyer. So, yeah, Wayne Dyer
Yeah.
as well keeps saying that.
Yep.
Uh, so I have a series of grandmas as well now. Grandma Louise, who is
Dolores. Yeah.
and grandma, of course, like how can you forget Grandma Dolores?
Well, you just can't, right?
Yeah,
She's just one of those women that you go, mm-mm. Yep.
yeah,
She's imprinted. She's definitely there. She's definitely someone that, you need a swift, energetic kick. Go for that one.
yeah. For the cosmic, like to connect with the cosmos is like Grandma Dolores. Yeah, where are you?
Correct.
There you are.
Yes.
So it's
1000%.
like Jacqueline was saying, like you had different name, but it's all about energy. So even if we are joking and saying like Grandpa Wayne or Grandma, uh,
Louise.
Louise, it doesn't matter because it's just one energy on the other side, and
Mm,
that's how you can connect with them and whatever you believe in to guide you in
yes.
that moment. And
Correct.
that's how you can allow, because you are talking to a being that resonate with you, and
Yeah.
I feel that's how you can allow things to happen.
And we'd love to hear how you go. Like if you start to put this into practice and you start journaling on it, how quickly are things changing for you? Because I think that's something I might put into practice as well, is to start writing things down and going, how quickly, if I surrender to the process and I ask for assistance, what's going to turn up? What is it going to look like? And I think that's the exciting part. You've got to treat it like Christmas, right? All these presents under the Christmas tree, and they start getting handed out to you, and it's the unwrapping and the unveiling. Oh, this one's little. Let's open that up. What does that look like? Oh, I like that one. Oh, yeah, maybe don't really love that one, but I'm getting it for a reason. So I've just got to suck up my own expectations and take it on board and be grateful for what comes. I think the
So watch
gratitude.
out for your number, like car plates number for you,
Oh
the
yes,
angel numbers.
all the time, all the time. One I even had a couple of weeks ago was transcend.
It's just amazing. Last time I was walking, there was one car with 222, and the
Mhm.
next car was 444.
Uh-huh.
That's
I
how
just
the
go,
universe have a joke with us.
I know all the time, and I just now I I have a thorough understanding that I will just see it every time I drive somewhere. I will see it. And it's not that I go looking for it. I just raise my eyes up to the cars in front, and it's there. You go, okay, I'm on the right path. Thank you. Appreciate that. Excellent. I don't go seeking the understanding for what the numbers mean. It's more about I am being guided. I am having faith that I'm being guided in the right direction. This is not where I'm meant to be, or otherwise these other things would not have happened. You know, I found what I was meant to find there, you know, whether it be the person or the thing or the piece of knowledge or whatever it happened to be, or the understanding that I can do what I need to do. You know, even if it's just a courage booster or a, you know, a faith booster. Sometimes we need to be in spots just to give us that boost of faith and courage and knowing that you have capacity to do what you need to do next. And that's the bit I love, but finding these golden nuggets of humans along the way, it's just the best, right? I think it was the best decision we ever made in starting this. Because
Definitely.
no longer are our conversations on Messenger or Instagram or TikTok, you know, they're being shared. And that for me, that's gold. And also for the fact there's something later on when my kids go, do you remember when we used to listen to stuff on the internet? Mum's there. So even if I'm not there to share my wisdom in their moments of need, they can just put on the divine mess and go, what message you got for me today, Mum? Or
Yeah.
Nana, or great Nana, or whoever, you know. I would love to have that sort of thing from my family. So that's why I'm glad that we do this, is because I'm leaving breadcrumbs for my own kids for them to go,
And by
yeah.
inviting more people in, I think like also opening doors has opened our like mind, you know, like to new possibilities and
God,
to
yes.
constant reminders in every episode that we have. Like we keep saying like after the episode is recorded and we just like shake our head and we're like, yep, we don't need to say anything. It's like just looking in each other's eyes and say, yep, you got it. No need to speak.
You know, sometimes we think it's not going to come up, and then we ask a guest for the last little bit of golden wisdom that they want to share with us, and I shit you not, the word surrender will come up, and you go, great, right. This is my lifelong lesson. Thank you so much for being the kick in the pants like 2 or 3 times a week. It's exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I think it's the nickname of this show is like Surrender. That's the nickname of it. But it's been
Hashtag
it.
surrender, the divine mess.
There you go. It's been a lovely, reflective episode
It
as well.
has, hasn't it? It's been amazing, as always. I love our conversations because they're just such fun. So, gorgeous ladies and gentlemen who have joined us today on the virtual couch, we love you. Thank you so much for sharing your most precious resource, which is your time. And we hope that you have an amazing week. And don't forget, surrender.
Thank you so much for listening, and we are looking forward to our next guest. So we'll see you next week.
Take care. Ciao.